Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. With you, as always, myself, Vibin. Got my brother with me, Mr. Scott Tripp, aka the Crypto Beast. As you guys should definitely know by now, we like to take a couple minutes out of our day, jump into some of the crypto headlines, bring them to your attention, and see what you guys think about them. But before we get started, just like every other day, we got to let my brother introduce himself and also give us the daily market sentiment. I got a feeling how this market sentiment is going to go today. So without further ado, Crypto Beast, take over.
Well, I'm fairly positive on it, but even still, I just don't think, like, my big target for me in my head anyways is that 45K mark. Until it does that, I'm just kind of being standoffish, I guess, for the moment. But what is your opinion?
Man, BUSD is up 0.01% today, man. This is a bull market. Let's go. I think it's always good, Scott, to see the green in the market. I think it's been a lot of positive news over the last couple of months that we've been bringing to everybody's attention, and eventually, I feel like this news is going to overtake most of the bearish prospects that's been going on. So I think the market sentiment right now is still neutral for myself, but bullish. You know, like I was neutral bearish, but now I'm neutral bullish. I'm actually starting to say, hey, look, this could potentially be the bottom. But again, I'm in no hurry. I'd rather confirm and watch the breakout and then, join in after the breakout's confirmed. So without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and jump into this crypto news today. We're going to go to bitcoin.com for my first article. I'm going to get the screen shared here in 1 second. And
yeah, go ahead.
As you guys can see here, the headline reads, Colombians take legal action against Binance for blocking their funds. So an account blockade that happened more than 5 months ago due to money laundering issues has prompted some Colombian users of Binance to commence in legal action against the exchange in the country. According to the reports of the funds blocked received $1 million, and after an investigation from FIOD, the Netherlands anti-money laundering watchdog, the funds were linked to financial crimes. So Binance is facing legal issues in Colombia after blocking the accounts of a group of citizens whose activities were allegedly linked to money laundering investigation from the FIOD. According to the report, the value of the cryptocurrencies blocked in the accounts totaled more than $1 million, with the users being unable to move the funds since 5 months ago. I've been blocked since September 29th, 2021. I already have 5 months without access to my funds. In my wallet, they stole what I had. And according to Binance officials, the funds are held by the Dutch FIOD. So Gerard is one of the users that had already begun to take legal action against the platform, with his attorney requiring the release of the funds. According to the statement, these requirements were sent to the compliance office of the exchange and have not been yet answered. So other Colombians affected, we're going to go ahead and just read what they wrote here. You asked them to give you the freezing order issued by the FIOD, and they tell you to write them an email from the Dutch police. Almost 6 months ago, we received the same response from Binance. They closed our chats. They basically washed their hands. There is not an official number of customers affected by this measure, but some have created a Telegram group to create awareness of the problem and coordinate actions against the exchange. So this is really interesting, Scott. I think when we run across topics like this and things of that nature, it could go both ways. It could be some people's money that did get frozen, but the nature of the business of why the money was froze by Binance was protect people from investing with money that may be fraudulent money or money that came from shady places, in a sense. So I think that some of these people may end up having to go through a longer process to get their funds back. And, I think that's bad for them. But I think the overall move by Binance was to protect Binance and all the people who are using the exchange. So I think it was a great story.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, they got to be aware they should be going after the Dutch finance division or whatever instead of Binance's, personally. Exactly. That's how I feel.
But yeah, Binance is telling you what to do. Hey, man, you want their number? Go after them. We'll give you have their contact information.
We're just doing what they told us to do, right?
Yeah, come on, man. What do you want us to do? Give you your money back, and then we get reported for giving you your money back? Come on, it's crazy. It's ludicrous.
I'm not 100%. I could be fudding myself a little bit here, but we talked about that hack yesterday. This was a spear attack through an email, so I'll just read it quick. Arthur Chung, founder of Definance Capital, said on Twitter that a hacker had stolen his NFTs. The venture capitalist said the unknown hacker compromised his device using a technique known as spear phishing. Arthur, founder of DeFi and Web3 focused venture capital firm Definance Capital, lost more than $1 million worth of non-fungible tokens in a hack today. Around 12:50 a.m. UTC today, unknown hacker began draining NFTs from an Ethereum wallet owned by Chung. Chung himself later confirmed the hack with statements posted on Twitter. Security firm PeckShield estimated that the stolen assets included 17 Azuki, 5 CloneX, 2 Hedgies, and 33 Second Self, all popular NFT collections, which the hacker then sold on marketplaces such as OpenSea. The hacker also transferred other tokens like Wrapped Ethereum, Lido DAO tokens, Look Rare, and DYDX to a wallet in their control. Overall, the perpetrator's wallet currently contains about 585 Ethereum, 1.7 million that can be traced back to Chiang's wallet. The sum may further increase as hackers still appear to be in the process of moving funds. The Definance owner said the hacker used a spear phishing email to deploy malware on his device, which extracted the seed phrase to his crypto wallet. He's also shared a screenshot of the email. Found out likely root of the cause of exploit, it's social engineering attack. So now the one thing, like, it might not be associated with it, but how did they get his email if it's not personal? Could it have been from the HubSpot? Because a lot of these people use HubSpot for marketing. It's a genius software. We used to use it in sales all the time. It's just a way to CRM your customers and know all the information and analytics that you need. So if he did use it, he should have changed his data if he knew about that hack, but who knows?
Yeah, I don't know, Scott. That's one of those things, man. Like when it comes to these hacks and things of that nature, this is the same, that hacker right there. This is his first hack. He was actually the same guy who did the phishing attack on Bored Apes and the Mutant Apes, and he stole like $2 million worth of Bored Apes. So I think when it comes to these hacks, people just get they just fall for these phishing attacks, and then I think that somehow these people either have an inside at these companies giving them emails, or they found a back door into potentially finding customers' emails. It's the only way I can see this happening. But I think, you know, as things go on, I think we'll start seeing stronger projects have better backing and better security for things of this nature. But definitely, guys, never connect your wallet to anything that somebody sends you on email. It's just not a smart way to live. So going to my second article today, Scott, we're going to jump over to Cointelegraph. The headline reads, Abu Dhabi rolls out draft recommendations for NFT trading. So Abu Dhabi Global Market, so ADGM, the Emirates Free Zone, published a constellation paper on Monday titled Proposals for Enhancement to Capital Markets and Virtual Assets in ADGM. The document contains draft guidelines that, among other asset classes, cover NFT trading. The paper proposes that companies with a license from the Free Zone's financial regulator be allowed to facilitate NFT trading, along with sections dedicated to traditional financial instruments. The document contains a little more than a page of virtual assets and NFTs. In this section, the Free Zone's chief regulator, the financial or the SSRA, describes NFTs as intellectual property rather than specific investments or financial instruments. It also proposes to allow multilateral trading facilities and virtual asset custodians to operate NFT marketplaces. The document also mentions that transactions in NFTs may trigger the requirement to comply with ADGM's anti-money laundering and sanction rules. At this point, the document specifies SRA is not proposing for a formal regulatory framework for NFTs. The constellation paper is open for comment until May 20th. It encourages stakeholders to share their thoughts on several major questions. For example, what type of NFTs should be permitted to trade upon the MTFs, and how would it be best to integrate third-party NFT registries? So here we are. We talked about Dubai, Scott, a little bit last week, and them putting in a little bit of regulatory framework for some of the things in cryptocurrencies. And here we are seeing them kind of not put in framework to try to crack down or try to pose sanction on NFTs, but they're just saying, hey, look, guys, let's have an open debate about it. Let's talk about it. We're going to say that we're going to say, if you guys stay within our trading rules and regulations, then we're not going to say that you guys can't trade NFTs on marketplaces. So I think this is really good. I think the fact that they still want people to comply and make sure that they're not doing any money laundering or anything like that. I think that, Abu Dhabi's taking the correct steps to recognize digital currency and digital assets and trying to place them accordingly with regulation.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. Well, and it's a smart way of doing it. They want to be the hub of crypto, so might as well make sure to regulate it properly so they don't need to come back again and redo stuff again, right? I'm going to share my next article. Russians are not flocking to crypto to avoid sanctions, says Chainalysis co-founder. Since the beginning of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, the idea of raising sanctions on the nation and those in power avoiding them via the use of cryptocurrency has risen to the center of public debate. Speaking with Bloomberg Technology, Chainalysis co-founder and chief strategy officer Jonathan Livin discussed the new tools to assist cryptocurrency firms and financial institutions in ensuring they're in compliance with sanctions. When it comes to the function of intermediaries such as crypto exchanges and the requirement of working with legislators and regulators, the matter of how much evidence are of Russian potentially using cryptocurrency to circumvent these rules was discussed. In order to track those potentially looking to evade sanctions, the chief strategy officer described the measure they have in place to monitor such cases. We're looking at all the entry points and exit points from the Russian economy into cryptocurrency and tracking sorts of changes in liquidity, changes in volume, different patterns of transactions to really understand there has been a systematic change in the way in which people are using cryptocurrency in Russia and potentially evading sanctions. Crypto has demonstrated its use, of course. We already know this through Ukraine. That has definitely helped humanitarian causes as well. But it's good that they're analyzing. Chainalysis is one of the best. I've seen it over and over again when it comes to looking into these kind of things. So I really think there might be, I still think Russia's using it somehow. Like crypto, it's just another way. Use your friends, don't use Russia, whatever, but it is what it is.
I think this article, Scott, is kind of one of those articles that could definitely go both ways. I think, when you think about it, there's already been a lot of sanction posed on Russia. So to make it seem like they're using Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies to get away from the sanctions, if they did that on chain, then other regulatory parties and other countries would try to implement something to get in the way of that. So I think that even though they have the data to go with this, I think that people find ways to use things that they want. And if that's cryptocurrency, it's cryptocurrency. If it's money, it's money, it's whatever. But that's all I have to say about that. I think just one of those things that could definitely go both ways. To jump into my last article today, guys, we're going to jump over to bitcoinist.com. The headline reads, Texas congressman pushes for Bitcoin mining to make U.S. energy independent. So U.S. Congressman Pete Sessions believes Bitcoin is consistent with American ideals and will help boost the U.S. dollar. So Representative Sessions also pointed out the cryptocurrency is going toward becoming a more resilient alternative choice for hedging against fiat currency inflation. Bitcoin mining is increasing in popularity in Texas. This is largely because of the fact that prominent politicians such as Sessions are wooing cryptocurrency mining companies. The 12-term Republican congressman tweeted Tuesday that Bitcoin mining will be essential in reestablishing a U.S. energy independence. The Waco, Texas legislator should know his state, which was once a major oil producer, is currently experiencing a Bitcoin mining rush. Texas has attracted an increasing amount of interest in the Bitcoin business in recent years as state and federal officials attempt to prepare the basis for an explosion of blockchain technology. Texas has the fourth highest hash rate of any state at 14%, according to the data from the fall of 2021. Industry leaders assert that they are attracted to the state low cost energy and lack of regulation. I want to see Texas become the hub of the universe for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, said Ted Cruz, stated last October at the Bitcoin Texas Blockchain Summit. So this, to me, Scott, it's just more bullish news coming from the state of Texas. Ever since the start of this pandemic and the start of a lot of the financial crashes that's been happening in the market, Texas has stood up and wanted to be independent. When we had a lot of energy crisis here in the states, Texas stood up and said, hey, break us off of that energy grid. We don't need to be on your energy grid anymore. We'll be our own energy grid. They became pretty much independent and they were one of the first states that I've seen physically start breaking away from governmental power and say, hey, look, we're okay with being ourselves. We don't need to conform to your acts. And at first they turned off all the power in Texas. They were off Texas was off the power grid for a little bit, Scott. And then, they cranked up their own stuff. And I'm excited to see what Texas is doing. There have been a lot of people from Silicon Valley move into Texas because A, the property is a lot cheaper. B, they don't have as much regulation on clean energy and things of that nature like California has. So no secret here that they're becoming one of the hubs of crypto here in the States for mining. So I definitely will keep paying attention to what they're doing. I have some family out in Texas, and hopefully they're taking advantage of mining as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I'll just share this article. It kind of ties in with yours right now. U.S. company resorts to using coal waste to mine Bitcoin and clean up their community. This is an interesting article I found. The vast quantities of power necessary to mine Bitcoin have prompted a debate about whether the energy required to create the digital commodity is worth the potential environmental problems linked with it. On the other hand, one particular company in Western Pennsylvania claims they've discovered a method to put cryptocurrency mining to work in order to clean up their neighborhood, according to a report by Reuters. Using waste from decade-old coal power plants, Stronghold Digital Mining Nasdaq SDIG generated energy that runs hundreds of supercomputers that are engaged in Bitcoin mining. The Bitcoin mining network is itself the largest decentralized computer network in the world and is power hungry. So co-locating Bitcoin mining and a power plant makes a lot of sense. A byproduct of burning coal to generate power is leftover known as coal ash, which has the potential to leak into groundwater and damage streams, as it includes heavy metals that are deemed carcinogenic. Coal ash is collected from a neighboring mine and processed at a waste coal processing plant, which is owned and operated by Stronghold. Afterwards, the coal ash is separated from the rest of the waste and crushed before it's sent to a boiler building where it's burned to create energy that is used to power the firm's Bitcoin mining operation. Despite the controversy surrounding Bitcoin energy consumption and environmental effect, Finbold revealed information from a study released on January 25th, 2022, that stated BTC accounted for 0.08% of world carbon dioxide emission in 2021, meaning that talking points targeting the network's energy usage seem to be overstated. Not a surprise in my mind that it's overstated. It's something that government's really good at overseeing sometimes when it suits their best interest in a way. So
I would agree 100%, Scott. We've talked about the fact that, Bitcoin mining doesn't even require as much power or consumption as it does for them to print money. And people still like to argue that Bitcoin is waste of energy. So,
yeah.
So we'll just keep an eye on that. So guys, we're gonna go to the last part of the day, my favorite section. We're gonna go to Trade and View, look at total crypto market cap and some of the dominance factors that we like to take a look at. So as we see here on the total crypto market cap, we're at 1.89 trillion. You see, we broke above that a little bit, got into the 1.9 for a second, and then we kind of came back down. And we're looking at the HTF, the higher time frame, 1 day chart here on this one, guys. But we could also, if you wanted to look at the 4 hour, you can see that we've been making a push up and getting some higher lows here. And I'm like Scott, I still want to see this trend break up above get back above over here, and then, give us some room to, say that we actually got out of some of the fallout that we had. So as we jump over and look at the Bitcoin dominance is at 42.88. We've seen this thing fall down, hasn't really picked back up. It's not going to go straight down. It's got to have a little pump up. So we're starting to see it kind of come down and start finding a new range over here. I like it to be down like this, just a personal opinion of mine. And the Ethereum dominance still is looking to be pushing a little bit up. We've seen it over the last couple of days, kind of like linger around and fall down a little bit, but it's starting to push back up as that Bitcoin dominance goes. And we're starting to see alts take off. We can see it in their charts already today. If you guys looked at anything else on the market, you notice that some of the charts are being green. A lot of things are being green actually, and the dominance factors show that as well. So that's all the things that I have for you guys today. Make sure you tune in with BigONE, guys. We're on Twitter a lot more now, opening up spaces with Andy, and also just jumping on with some other projects. I know XR Doge is going to be on in the next 10 minutes or later on today. So if you guys have a chance, go back, take a look at some of the things that we're posting on Twitter. And if you're missing any of the Twitter spaces, they can also be found on the BigONE's Twitter page, and you can go back and re-watch or re-listen to those recordings. But that's all the time we have for today. I don't have any other announcements. Scott, do you have anything for the people before we get out of here?
No, I know you guys are going to miss the XR Doge space, but hopefully we can have them in more often, because by the time this gets posted, the Twitter space will be over. But if you had a chance, it was really nice meeting you in the space, and hopefully you came up and said hello.
Yeah. So until tomorrow, guys, peace.
We'll see you guys later. All right.